Great.
Looks good.
Thank you so much for that introduction. And hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this session to listen to my talk. I wish it was not virtual and in person so I could see everyone's faces and we could have a more interactive session. But I found this platform is really good, and the way the questions and the moderation is being done is so great that I think virtual is also good. So I'm going to be giving a talk on the multi-cloud solution design for migrating a portfolio of applications to the cloud. Because it's a really long topic, and as a research, we tend to elaborate on what we're exactly going to speak on, but we might have to shorten it soon. This project, I worked with my colleagues Ali Megahead and Elias Ayub. We're from IBM Research. Located in Almaden, California. And let's get started. So, again, a short introduction of myself. So, this is a picture of IBM Almaden Research Center. It's a beautiful lab nestled in the hills of San Jose. We have complete privacy and a lot of cows and deers around. So, it's a wonderful place to work in. And I've been here for the past 5 to 6 years doing research and development. I also like to blog on Medium, so please feel free to follow me as well as take part in some hackathons. So let's get started. As you know, that the use of cloud computing is growing in different organizations, and everybody wants to migrate their applications which were located on a certain server somewhere. They want to now move it to cloud. And the reasons are varied. It could be there's low cost, there's accessibility of data, especially when applications are for users who are geographically widespread, elasticity, as well as now we see a different pattern in the use of cloud. The organizations now don't want to just stick and put in all their applications in one cloud. They want to avoid concentration risk. That means not putting all the eggs in one basket. So the thing is that if some applications are on a cloud which has a failure or which is not having those all the features which are required for the application, they can choose amongst different other cloud providers too. So it's a mix and match of services across different clouds, and that's what multi-cloud means here. But this can be a very tricky situation for varied reasons, which I would detail in the next slide. And a lot of enterprises now are moving all the applications into a multi-cloud environment with different instances. So, what are the challenges that come in with multi-cloud? One is that uh, when the enterprise wants to move to cloud, there can be too many applications that want to be migrated. And some of them might have documentation, etc. But not all of them are feasible to be moved to cloud. And hence, it's very important to know which is the application that can be easily moved, which can be migrated, and which is the cloud provider which would suit the application needs. The second is that client typically want to put in their own set of features, right? Like what are like the security level of the data that they have, or the encryption level, or the kind of database that they want to use, or the geographical region where the user base is, would actually point out to which cloud provider they would prefer. A third is sort of linked to the first point, is that sometimes an application is built with legacy software, and so before it is moved to the cloud, it needs an architecture overhaul. Sometimes it's just as simple as upgrading the software version, but sometimes it could be that a certain version is not supported, or uh, the way the architecture or the design of the application is not just suitable for a cloud environment, and it has to be put on premise. Hence, this is a situation which needs to be tackled before the client decides that he wants to move this application to cloud. Also, once you evaluate cloud feasibility and you know that you have to re-architect the application, there are costs associated with it. So a client would want to know what are the costs associated with it, and whether he wants to have that architect overhaul versus what are the benefits if he does move to cloud, right? So these are some of the scenarios or challenges that occur. And then lastly, since there's so many applications, this process of doing understanding whether an application is cloud feasible or not is very important. If Is very important, and it's iterative. So sometimes if you do not have all the information about the application, you have to keep going back and forth with the client, request all the information that would is important to make a decision whether it can be moved to cloud or not, and then decide what is the service cloud provider that can be used. So this is the problems that we are trying to tackle here, which is how can we recommend the optimal set of cloud providers and create a multi-cloud solution for the client. So summarizing, the idea over here is that we evaluate the cloud providers that are there and suggest based on the best fit between what the historical information we have about the application and the decision optimization. So decision optimization is basically evaluating what are the requirements of the application, like for by the client, and how does it fit to the cloud provider, and then decide whether this cloud provider should be considered or not. And then we want to provide recommendation not just for one application but for multiple applications. So we want, this is more of a collective set of applications recommendation. And then we want to provide recommendation based on the data collected by the client automatically. So we want to make sure that we have all the data for the applications that want to be migrated, and we are able to process it quickly. So the steps we have, it's the four step methodology approach. First, we do text mining. We want to perform text mining on the data we received about the application and ensure that we have all the data necessary to evaluate cloud feasibility. Once we have all the data, then we move on to the next step, which is evaluating cloud feasibility. We have used the dependency graph here, and we rank applications based on how feasible it is to move to cloud. Then this thirdly, once we have evaluated that an application is feasible to be moved to cloud, we looked at the other different factors or features of the cloud, like cost, security, service level requirements, quality of service, etc. And we build a matrix of cloud providers versus the applications, and how do they fit in with respect to these features. And last, we have an optimization model where we take in all the recommendations for cloud providers for applications and try to optimize it so that we're not recommending that you have 5 cloud providers for all these sets of applications. We want to optimize and get a feasible cloud solution, multi-cloud solution here. So let's go with the overall flow chart, and I'll let's not get intimidated with this entire flow chart. I'll try to break it down. So as an input, what we have over here is the list of applications that the client wants to migrate to the cloud. We have the historical data of applications and cloud solutions provided to them. So for example, I may have created a multi-cloud solution for another client, which has similar sorts of applications, like say it has an email application in it, or he has some just some web service on it, etc. So running on it. So I would look at what those applications are and what recommendations of cloud providers have been given to them, so I can reuse my recommendations that had been given earlier. Then we have the client request for cloud features, which is like what are the specific requests in the cloud provider that should be there, like a certain threshold of quality of service or a certain budget of the cost, etc. And then the features of the application. So the first step, we are performing the text mining using the semi-structured data. I will go into the details of how we would do the text mining, but the output of the step is basically understanding if we have the complete information of an application or not. If we don't, then we would request client for more data before proceeding forward. So here we would collect in all the information for individual applications that are there, which is missing, and we would request it from the client. The second step, we build a cloud feasibility dependency graph. So here we are evaluating feasibility of an application based on the different aspects of it. So an application has different aspects, like the UI, like how is the UI supported, what is the backend supported, platforms which are on which the application would require, what is the authentication or the database, where does it lie, etc. And then using that, you can build like a success criteria map which says, oh yes, this is this much percent feasible to be moved to cloud. uh, and then we categorize it so that we can reuse this again, this whether it's a cloud feasible application or not later. Then we have a third step, which is we build an matrix of application versus the service cloud provider. So we are looking at the different features of the cloud with respect to the cost, the quality, the service level, encryption level. So they are usually in the third party data. You can get usually a set of features that you can use to compare different cloud providers, and that's what we would reuse over here. And then lastly, we have the optimization model. So at the end of it, we get a multi-cloud solution, which says that for these applications, these are the cloud providers which would suit. And for these applications, these are the cloud providers which would suit it. And so hence, this is the set of multi-cloud solution which has these cloud providers which would suit your needs. And this is how you would migrate it to these clouds. So let's go stepwise into the process. Let me check. So, okay, we have gotten time. So stepwise, we perform text mining on data for each application. So what we do over here is we have taken the data of the application, which could be the number of users, the geography of users, the existing security level, the hardware or software which is required. If there's a hardware requirement, then yes, then software platforms, databases, where those databases are located, authentication, etc. So we have all these data which is there, and we do an entity relationship graph to map out what those information map out to for particular tags. So tags are like uh, keywords that like say users or software. So we try to find this particular tag in the document, the semi-structured document, which has details about the application, and we try to extract these terms and tag it. So for example, we have a number of users, which is so we have a text item here, which is number of users for this XYZ app is 455 in Europe. So we extracted it as number of users is 455, and the extracted tag over here is users. Then we have another statement in the document, which is app requires software, Java SDK 10.0 or below. So we say that the software platform here is Java and the extracted tag is software. So this is the tags that we receive from the document. But to evaluate cloud feasibility, there are some necessary tags that are important that should be there in the document. For example, we require, say, investment on the application, and we don't see that information in the semi structured document. We go back and we tell the client that this is an important information that we require for evaluation of cloud feasibility. I believe there's another also session happening on entity recognition and entity relationship graph. So you can always check out that session because that has an in-depth on, I think, text mining. Um, the second step is cloud feasibility, and I think I should have put a dependency graph picture of how it would evaluate, but I will show you how we actually evaluate the application. Let me quickly go back to this one. Okay, so this is an example of a dependency graph. Now note that in the previous slide we took in the tags and we try to map it out to the information that we receive from the document, right? So here we are taking like 5 main tags like web, authentication, platforms, and data storage, and we map out what is the data we received about the application. For example, this application XYZ, it is hosted on Bluemix, which is an IBM platform, and it's using AngularJS and Node.js for backend, Angular for UI. It has a platform for Java, and it has storage databases in Germany and USA East, etc. So note that we built this dependency graph and we chalk out with these dotted lines how the dependencies are there in between inside the application. So for example, you see that there are 2 instances of the application running, and this is dependent on the software platform, which is Bluemix. The second is that it is scalable to 2 terabytes, which is dependent on the database, one of the databases hosted in Germany. So there are dependencies within the application, and that is used to evaluate how cloud feasible it is, etc. So going back, some of the rules that we have for ranking this application is, does this app have an immediate business need to scale and it is running out of capacity? So what is the capacity or data storage currently, and how much would it need to scale? So in that case, it required 2 terabytes it was already using. So you would need to find out a cloud provider which is cost wise effective and would be able to get that give that scalability. Then we would look at the architectural flexibility, changes in the software platforms, etc. Apps that require global scaling. For example, if you have users around globally, you want that you have at least multiple database across, so that your application can support those geographical variation. And then we want to give lower priority to apps that require specialized hardware, because these are harder to evaluate cloud feasibility. You would have to dig into the specs of the cloud provider to see if the cloud provider can support something similar to what the hardware was giving, right? So that's where this would be an issue. So you can make like a comparison of how the old or the current version of app is, and how it would look with the cloud version of the app. So like the initial investment might decrease, but the proposed profit might go slowly higher with time. What would be the reliability, what would be the scalability, etc. And then in the next step, we classify the model using the app features, and we categorize them. So in this picture, I'm saying here that we have service provider 1, which is cloud service provider 1, provider 2, and provider 3. And we are evaluating the application based on cost, the quality of service, coverage, and security. So the red over here means that the service provider 1 can does have that does satisfy the security requirement for application. So like service provider 2 does satisfy the cost and quality of service requirement for this application, etc. So using the security type, what is the dependencies in between the applications, what is the ease of cloud migration, we can categorize and say that these are the cloud service providers that would suit or they fit into the client requirements for a cloud. And then lastly, we built an optimization model. So here we are optimizing. So it could be that we could recommend 3 service cloud providers, but we want to optimize it. So we would see what is the coverage of which is being provided. So coverage over here would again be the cloud, the application characteristics like the cost QS. So you would rank them and say that okay, out of 100, this is the percentage coverage for this application by this cloud service provider. And you have that constraint. You can have constraint like service providers which fulfill the security requirements, which are service providers which are already providing services in a certain geographical region. Or you would look into constraints like sometimes the clients would not want 2 applications to be under the same cloud provider, because it could be that if one cloud provider fails for some reason, or is not running, they may want to have a backup plan of running the application on another cloud. So it that could be some of the constraints that are there. Or it could be that the applications should not be in the same geography, etc. So we use this to build the optimization model. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's go with an example use case. So we took a data feature set of a global IT company who had a lot of applications and they wanted to migrate them into cloud. And we took one of the applications of it, that example, and saw whether we can go through our methodology and how it would map out and what kind of output it would give. So after doing the text mining, we took data of the application, and then we fitted it into the dependency graph. So we used the graph machine learning model to build this dependency graph. So the data we took were, like as I mentioned before, like the IBM software platform, which is Bluemix, or what backend in what backend software language it's using, what is the UI using, what is the LDAP service over here, how are the billings or the payments being handled, the database in Germany, where is it located, so Germany and USA, and then how many instances of it are there, right? So sorry, so we use this data fitted into a dependency graph, and we dotted out what are the dependencies within the application. So as you can see, there are 3 dependencies over here, and that's what is going to be used to evaluate how cloud feasible it is. So we asked these certain questions like, does this app have an immediate business need? Is it running out of capacity? So it does have limited scalable storage. It does it have architectural flexibility? So it doesn't. It does require more storage capacity to make it scalable, which means we're looking for a service cloud provider who can provide that flexibility to this application. And then how many number of dependencies are there? So there are like two, internal and external. So when I say internal and external, that means internal are like dependencies which are within the application, and external are dependencies which are there between two different applications. So it could be that an LDAP application uh, is important for another application. So if we require authentication on another app, it needs to be able to talk to this LDAP service. So the cloud service provider should be able to have that, should be able to allow that to happen. So we use that. We use that to ask these questions, map out the different three cloud providers here. Right, I've written here as provider 1, 2, 3, but they are actual cloud providers that we have. And we saw which are the applications which mapped suitably for the different cloud providers. So here, like say we have 7 applications. You can see that most of the applications are suitable for cloud provider 1 and 2. And we are using this to assign what are the providers to applications, and how we can satisfy the constraints that are there for this application. So we are minimizing the constraints by saying what is the coverage, what is the cost, what is the quality of service and security, and using that to minimize the number of cloud providers. So optimization model took this coverage and used it as a constraint, and then came up with a multi-cloud solution which was suitable for this migration of these set of applications. So summarizing, what we presented is like a novel method of how we can prepare a multi-cloud solution for a client portfolio of applications. We use text mining, dependency graph, and optimization to come up with this multi-cloud solution framework. And we evaluated it to a real-world application to see how the methodology works. So I think for the use case scenario, we can definitely apply our approach to more better real data sets and build the end-to-end solutioning framework for this. We would also like to enhance the text mining procedure. So right now we're using a semi-structured document, which would already have that application tags and data linked to it, but we would like to have a more enhanced procedure for this. And also we would like to formulate and have a better optimization model. So at the end of it, you realize what those client service providers would be. But if we want to make it a more intrinsic and a more having a human in the loop who is going back and forth and saying, can you optimize on this, or can you optimize on coverage or just security, then we want to have that feature too in place. So I hope you liked my talk, and I hope you found this talk insightful. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I'd be happy to answer them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shubhi. I sure learned a lot from your presentation, and thanks for sharing about multi-cloud solution design. Does anybody here with us have any questions for Shubhi at this time? Feel free to post them in the chat and we can get those questions answered.
So while we are here, maybe I can also say that here we're using cloud services with machine learning. We have tried to bring together a core part of machine learning and try to apply it to an actual real world problem of migrating and building a multi-cloud solution framework. But there are many other such problems also that we solve, and so always please feel to reach out to me if you think you have a novel idea, and we can always discuss then. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your contact information. That being said, does anybody have any questions before we wrap up this session? Nope. Great. Okay. Thank you, Shubhi. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your wealth of knowledge. On behalf of Women Who Code, we really appreciate your time and giving back to our community.